It says we're going live.
Yep.
It says we're going live. It says we're here. But as always, I don't know if I'm really here until my existence is validated by others. I'm assuming you did a mic check. That's a little late now. It's a little late now.
Usually with this, I don't have to do the mic check. It's only with...
That's true. That's true. But we have had times where we talked blissfully,
Yep.
and there was no sound. So.
Okay, we need validation on the audio, folks.
Yeah, I think so. Because now I'm paranoid. Thank you, Andre.
Okay, see? It's the end here. Thank you, X. Thank you, Andre.
So now we'll actually get this show started. This show on the road. There's other cliches I can't think of.
If you want to drive, go right ahead.
No, I don't want to drive. You don't want me to drive. If I recall, we don't do that here.
You're the passenger princess.
Except I do a lot of work for being a passenger princess. Because I am the official navigator when we're going to a new place.
That's true.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm
true.
not a passenger princess.
It keeps you occupied.
My book keeps me occupied. Okay, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, the Lords
John Brownstone.
of Living BDSM, where we help Kingsters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly Friday night live stream. Nothing educational happens here, I don't think. We're here. We're hanging out. Starting at 10, which is in 30 minutes, we will take questions and do a Q&A. Until then, we just got to ease on into it. We got to get settled. We got to talk about nothing. Stuff. Yeah. But we are here.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. Everybody's talking about their drinks. The closest I got was my $1 Diet Coke.
Yep.
Did I say weekly? Silent. I meant monthly. If I said weekly, I lied. I meant monthly. I don't know what the words are that I'm saying anymore.
I see that.
Yesterday was such a long day. This week has been such a long week. And I already know tomorrow will probably be a 12-hour day. Work day, I mean. So I'm just preemptively tired. Oh my gosh. What else? I'm going to say, well, when I get the mouse back, I'm going to say hello to people, but you took the mouse and so I can't do the scroll. What are you looking for?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't. Hi, Eva.
You do your thing, I do mine.
Trying. You just interrupted. Hi, Eva. You get the double hi today. Hi, Mr. Spock. Hi, Opheliac. Hi, Silent. Hi, Claire. Hi, Kinsey. Hi, Susan. Hello, John Brownstone. Hi, Rara. Hi, Kim. Hi, Andre. Scrolling. Hi, X. Scrolling. Hi, Little Miss. Scrolling. Hi, Donsel. I think I said that the way... I said it the way I read it. If I should say it differently, please let me know. Hi, Susan. Scrolling. I'm scrolling. Oh, and then it jumped. I think I got everybody. If I did not, I'm so sorry. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
There we go. Yeah, I'm drinking Diet Coke and the minimal caffeine in it be damned. It's not going to keep me from falling asleep tonight. It's just not. I did stop my book to come do the stream because this is what we do on this particular Friday night at 97%, y'all. I'm so close. It is a series where every single book ends on a cliffhanger. Thankfully, the first 7 of the 8 book series, the first 7 books are already out. I'm on book 5. Did I read 3 books yesterday while I was in between working? Yes, because a lot of my work yesterday was sit around and wait. Hurry up and watch candle wax melt. Hurry up and watch it come up to temperature. Hurry up and watch it go down to temperature. So I got to do a lot of reading. But I'm at 97%. Will I finish that at about midnight when we finish up here? We go to bed, we lay down for a few minutes. We don't lay down for a few minutes. We lay down and take a few minutes to unwind and then go to sleep. Yes, I will finish it. And then it will drive me bonkers to not be able to just go ahead and start book 6 because it will end on a cliffhanger. And right now, where they are at 97%, the baddie that they've been real nervous about for like 2 books, now that they know that the baddie exists, is Lucifer, is the devil himself. So, yeah. You know, Susan, I usually don't like cliffhangers either. If I appreciate when authors these days, with ebooks at least, will put, okay, this ends on a cliffhanger, because then I can choose to ignore that series completely. Or now that I've got 3 months free of Kindle Unlimited, I can go see, hey, is that whole series done? Because then I don't care about a cliffhanger. If I can get all the books and read it, you know, back to back, then I'm good. But I don't usually like it when a book ends on a cliffhanger. Oh, your girl is up, and she is making her voice known in the background.
Yep, I hear her out there a-wooing.
Yeah. And Silent, yes. Yes, I've been reading a lot of books, and I track them in Goodreads. I don't review or rate them anymore. I tried a couple years ago, and something about it, like, it killed the dopamine. It killed the joy of reading. It felt like work. And so then I didn't read, and then I also probably didn't read for other reasons that I'm not quite aware of. And now something has happened where I'm reading instead of scrolling Instagram. I have barely watched any of my YouTube videos for about a week. Like, I'm so far behind that it's a little stressful. And I don't want to take the time to watch my YouTube videos when I've got these books I need to be reading. So, yeah. Andre, when did you send the email, and which website did you send it through? We have so many.
What's he talking about?
Andre said, just curious if you got my email, sent it through your website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ophelia asked if I do audiobooks. No, I cannot focus if somebody is talking to me. Podcasts I can do. Are you threatening me with a switch? It's a dowel, isn't it? Y'all, JB is directly behind the camera at the back door because Lola needed to go out, and apparently he's bored. So he is waving stuff at me. No, the only thing I can listen to and kind of concentrate on are podcasts, and even then I have to be very careful what I'm doing at the same time or I'll miss all of it. So audiobooks have never really been my thing. Before, I would have said ebooks were only kind of, like, I would read them, but it was not my preference. And then my eyes got old and my lenses became progressives, and it's been hard to read physical books. I've been thinking about going to large print books like from the library because it was so difficult. But that bright ass screen I've been reading on my phone, not even my iPad mini, has made it so easy to read. And my phone is so small and handy, and it's already with me everywhere. So wherever I am, I have a book, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I tried audiobooks years ago. Can't do it. I drift. And then I have to go back because, you know, it's like, this is a book I want to
I have learned over the years that for me to process what I'm hearing, I typically have to be laser focused on whoever is speaking. And I just don't have that. I barely have it with podcasts, and only in certain situations can I do it. Driving, walk, like when I was going on my stupid walks for my stupid mental health, then kind of when I'm doing resin pours for paddles, but even then I miss like half of it because I get focused on so I have to be very careful when I try to listen to anything. So Andre says through the Loving BDSM site. There's one email address that I don't have on my phone. I have it on my computer. So it's possible that I got it and I just haven't seen it yet. But I will see it in the morning because I'll be sitting down at probably 9-10 o'clock in the morning to get back to work. So, Andre, it is not a goddamn Andre kind of night. I was thinking that maybe our December one could be that, because that'll be close to the holidays. We'll be winding down with the shop. It won't be quite as hectic as it will have been prior to. I think that the December live stream will either be in the middle of our holiday break or like right as it starts. So that'd probably be a really good time. So December.
Yeah, and there is no Lola Cam tonight. The office here is feeling slightly
Somebody's preparing for the holiday season.
claustrophobic.
There's boxes everywhere.
Yes.
And actually, before I organized it, it was even, well, let's use that term loosely, air quote, organized it. It was even worse. But somebody was real busy this week with his shop elf and just brought in loads of product that had to be processed. And then I spent 12 hours yesterday making candles. 2 new colors are coming for our anniversary sale that starts on Sunday. But I had to make them. And so the chaos has kind of been contained. There is a stack of boxes next to JB that is as tall as he is when he's sitting down.
Yep.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, Silent, don't feel bad. That last Skull Diabolical sold like the same day I posted it. The ones I feel bad for are the 4 little jack-o'-lanterns that are just, they're smiling, they're happy, they're ready to go cause consensual pain. They haven't been adopted yet. There are 4 of them. But
Yeah, the office here has exploded. There's boxes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I brought in, I don't know how many paddles.
I have the note I had to for taking inventory. Oh, I never even updated the inventory that we made in the shop today. I have a lot to do.
And, added inlay inventory, a whole bunch of diabolical sticks.
Yeah, we get to do. I'm not restocking until the sale starts, or like right before the sale starts. So there's just product freaking everywhere, and there's oh gosh, 30 some odd diabolicals.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll find a new home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's paddles in the making that are in the process of being.
And we haven't even talked about you needing to go to the sawmill.
No.
And figuring out what that budget's going to be.
Right.
Whew. I have a feeling we'll be actually still restocking things that are sold out in the middle of the sale next week.
Mm-hmm,
We only do technically 3 sales a year, 1 in October, 1 in November, 1 in December. It's really like just that's it for us. We tried doing like Valentine's and this and that, and it just no thank you. So we try to make it like a big deal, like we try to have something new or a whole bunch of stuff or whatever, so it's like worth people's time and attention. But somehow this one snuck up on us. I don't know.
Silent asked if we're going to see any holiday colors.
If I can sit down and if I can make them.
Yeah, we do have plans for it.
It'll be another limited edition, like very small release, though.
Yep.
Because we want to see if people even want those.
It's going to be a small thing, but what's kind of held us up, we ordered resin, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, and we ordered a bunch of fucking resin.
A lot of resin.
We've been going through resin so fast lately.
Because we have been using a lot of resin. So we ordered it, and the people that I ordered from, I like working with them. They're a small business. I love working with small business. As a small business person,
right?
You know, and I've been dealing with these people for several years, and they have been fantastic on everything. And I cannot fault them for the reason for not getting it out right away to us. The resin that they had, that we ordered, it was discolored.
Mm-hmm. Which means it was probably old.
Right.
And not going to be
so
any good.
they did not want to send it to us. That's the type of people they are. They're not going to send it. So they are waiting for their fresh shipment of resin.
But they haven't done a good job of communicating.
No, they haven't.
You had to track them down.
Yes, I know.
One of the
I
only
know.
saving graces is they always put peanut M&Ms in the box.
Yeah. So, and I feel like asked if
Yeah,
we got into
Kim
the-
asked another question.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I've been watching. So
Okay.
first, Kim asked the candle colors.
Ah.
Not keeping it a secret. It's fine. Pink and blue. The pink did not come out with the pink I had hoped for. That's not because of anything I did. It's just the pigment. So I will be on the hunt for another pink. So one day I can have the pink I want that I have in my head. The blue came out better than I thought it would. And the blue is gorgeous because I went for deep and it's beautiful. The pink was a challenge. So on the soy, the pink came out
That
as
came
a
out
pretty
beautiful.
pink, but it was not the pink I had in my head. So I'm going to keep looking for pigments on that one.
Pink seems to be an interesting color because we even kind of fought with that a little bit with the resin.
Do you know the only reason the pink resin looks the way it does now when I pour something is because I am mixing like I'm a fucking witch over her cauldron, trying to get the pink I envision in my head.
Yeah.
Because we use up our mica colors before we go buy more, and we now have a mica company that we love, and we want all of our colors to come from them, but we don't buy more until we're out of. So yeah, I can't wait to buy pink from them. They're called, what are they called? Eye Candy? Eye Candy. Oh, fucking love them. And Ophelia asked about the woodshed, and we just got word this week that yes, we did apply for it.
Yep.
Yes, we got in.
Yep.
Yes, I paid the money for our booth space like that day, like done. That is November 18th. It's a Sunday at the woodshed. We will talk more about that in like weekly streams or whatever, because then I'll actually sit down and go get the details and write them down.
We will be in Orlando for that show.
Yeah, we're not. The past couple times we've done Orlando, we've gone and then turned around and come back, and we've not spent any time because of just different reasons. And this year it will be because the kid will be home by himself watching the fur babies. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. I mean, am I super stressed that it's the week before Black Friday? Yeah. And so we've got to prep for our Black Friday sale and prep for the show. It's gonna be great.
I wonder, Mr. Spock, if he might have been thinking about Teishu. I think he was going to try and apply.
He was, yeah, and then he couldn't make it work with stuff going on with him. I know that would have been so cool if he could have.
Yeah, and there was an event for us, this past summer.
Yeah, we had to back out of an event.
We had to back out of it last minute.
We didn't get picked for the Woodshed Spring event, except then at the last minute, they had somebody cancel, and they said, hey,
if you want to, you can.
And we didn't have the inventory for it.
No. That's the other thing I had you doing today, too. You were buffing cane handles.
Yeah. I also buffed my own nails.
Oh, yeah. That happens.
You know what? I buffed diabolical stick handles early this week and dropped no less than 5 of them. On concrete, that resin's strong. No cracks. It's fine. It's fine. The carbon fiber rod of a diabolical or an evil stick is not strong, but the resin is. Today, I did wooden cane handles and only dropped 1. It's very impressed with me. I know. But buffed my nails on all 3 of the things. And that thing moves fast. It was burning.
I actually toned it down from what I usually spin
God.
it. I had you go.
Was I going slow?
I had the lathe going at 2,000 RPM.
For buffing, it's his lathe where he turns wood, but also it's a buffing thingamajigger, and it's spinning, and it's this kind of, I don't know what that stuff's called. This kind of, I don't know what that stuff's called. And then this one, there's 3 of them. The last one is wax. And he's like, okay, you can go light on this first one and light on this second one. And he goes, but then on the 3rd buffing wheel, you got to get in there. It's like,
all in.
And yeah, and I did. And it was hot on my skin.
Yeah.
And we're doing that
I know.
thing
I've been watching. You don't have to tell me. I've been watching. So yeah, no, when I do it, I usually have the lathe running about 25 to 2,600 RPMs. For you, it was at 2,000.
Well, I am a baby shop elf. Okay.
Yeah.
Holiday wax play kits. I think I saw Silent mention them. we may do wax play kits at the holidays. Green is the next color that I plan to release, but I think that was gonna be a spring thing, so I don't know. I've still got to get my shit together for the wax play kits coming out on Black Friday. The knives are fine. The packaging, I bought the packaging. It's the candles. I did buy everything I need to make the candles, but after I just spent 12 hours making candles yesterday, I'm a little burnt out. That's like a next week project. But I also still have to pour those resin. And the thing is, on the holiday resin ones, they're a lot more detailed, and they're only going to look good if I do multiple colors. And I got to figure out how that's going to work. I have some thoughts that are different from the last thoughts I had. So we shall see. So, yeah, the... yes.
Yeah.
There is a Black Friday. We do our anniversary sale. That starts on Sunday. That actually runs through our store, The Kinkery, for anybody who's like, they keep talking about all this stuff. TheKinkery.com, if you happen to be new here. It's fine. So The Kinkery's anniversary is October 22nd. That is the day we launched it in 2020 in the middle of a global pandemic, because why not?
Why not?
And then, so that's the start of our anniversary sale. Every year we do a sale. But then our wedding anniversary is October 28th. And so our anniversary sale, regardless of what days on the calendar it appears, it runs the 22nd through the 28th to celebrate both anniversaries. And then we take a break. And then Black Friday, we have a sale that typically runs actually sometimes Thursday, Thanksgiving, through Cyber Monday, sometimes that Tuesday. And then we take a break, and then we do the sale in December is usually a free shipping thing. It's not a discount. It's more of a spend so much, get free shipping, because we want to help people get in those last minute holiday gifts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Spock, who sent us Mr. Spock says he's jealous of the person who sent the card from the Bahamas. That was Mandy and Dustin. I don't know if they're here tonight. Probably not. Isn't there? Wait.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
No, I was trying to think of their time zone. I can't remember. Let's see. And yes, we are all well aware of the black blippy screen.
Yep.
We still cannot find
pin
it.
down what is causing it.
Yeah.
I think what I may do next time we stream, I'm going to eliminate the Elgato and go back to the
old way
and see what happens.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure we're getting as much out of the Elgato as we thought we would anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, are they? Okay, Mr. Spock. I thought I don't know why I got it in my head that they were further away. Okay. And if Mandy or Dustin watch this later, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, and in between all of the work, so you know how I usually. There
he is. Hey, Dustin.
Oh, there we go. See, speak of the devil. So you know how my big procrastination thing used to be scrolling reels on Instagram.
Oh yeah, because I used to be the recipient of all. Yeah. Yeah.
It's reading my books.
I
now.
know. I
don't know if
I'm not sure how I feel about not getting all the reels, whether it's a boon or a bust.
Well, no, think about it this way. When I do finally go, I haven't been on Instagram in a hot minute. Let's start scrolling.
I'll be flooded.
The last time you got some was like the first time I'd sat down and just looked at Instagram in like 3 days. That's why you got like 20. Okay. Couldn't remember where you were, Dustin. You were summoned. You were. So, but no, I can't tell if it's a hyper focus because I'm like in it, and so I keep going. Okay, at some point I'm gonna like be done with this. I'll be like, fuck this, and not read another book for 6 months. So I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's the excitement of being able to. my phone, yeah. I'm reading on my phone because it's just more convenient. Do I still take my glasses off and bring my phone, like, super close?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Because it's actually a pain in the ass to read with my glasses on. But it's so much more visible because we don't have real good lighting anywhere in this fucking house, quite frankly. The kitchen has the best lighting because we custom fucking installed it.
Right, yeah.
That's the only reason. That's the room with good lighting. So reading a physical book, like in the living room, even in our bedroom, is just such a pain. So I don't know if it's that or... not to get way too in our personal business, but we are both on a new medication, new to us medication that is good for mood. And I'm like, wait, did this work enough to quiet my fucking brain down? And I can actually, am I just making up for lost time with all this reading? I don't know.
Ooh, excuse me. And that's kind of what I was telling you about tonight. That
I know you were trying to talk to me while I was reading my book.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, it seems like I am focusing more on the things that need to be focused on and not the things that I have no control over, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a real... I know for me it's not been a subtle shift for me. I just can't pinpoint what the shift is.
Yeah.
I'm reading voraciously, which was like my entire personality from the time I could actually read until I was like 17. Like that's just who I was. And then life. And then I kind of got into a period there a few years ago where that's what I did. And then life. But also, as you've been the recipient of me discovering that the libido still exists.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I just don't know what it is. So, but, yeah. All the talk of crafting, my brain has not hyper-focused on that at all. Because it's still a space and lighting issue. And the tablet I was using for my cross-stitch patterns died, and we have not replaced that yet.
No.
So I don't even have a good way to get my cross-stitch designs because they're all sitting
that
on
only,
an app.
And that only works on Android, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So... I said lots of words, Mr. Spock. Which ones? Which ones?
We don't have drawers under our bed, but we have our totes.
I'm a fan of a plastic tote.
Yep.
Especially for under the bed. Yeah, our bed frame is kind of high up. Like if I sit on the edge of the bed, my feet actually almost dangle, not quite.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we can put some good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right? I know. Well,
right.
The one the doctor prescribed, she was like, this is not supposed to affect sexual health at all. She was not speaking to me at the time.
No, she wasn't.
That comment was not directed at me.
No.
At somebody else. So, I don't know. I don't know. It was actually not even, it was prescribed for you for mental health.
Right.
For both of us for not sleeping, and for both of us for, no matter what we do, the weight just lives here with us. We just carry it all. But I was like, yeah, if you're offering it to me, I'll take it. Without having to make the $100 appointment to see the psychiatrist. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Primary care.
I have noticed a difference. It has helped.
Oh, yeah. For you. Yeah, you were spiraling prior to.
Well, I had the proverbial straw that
absolutely.
broke the camel's back, and I nosedived.
Oh, that was rough.
I hit bottom.
I have lived in a constant state of buzzing anxiety for so long. it's normal to me. So whatever I'm experiencing is not normal, but I don't know what it is. So it's actually a pretty common one, Simon.
Yeah.
I mean, do you care if I say?
I don't care.
It's Wellbutrin. I mean, it's just, I know they prescribe it for weight loss in some cases. Something else the doctor told us, but also anxiety. And no. I knew anxiety and depression, but like other things, off-label uses.
Gotcha.
I was like, okay. But yeah, what I was reminded in a surprising way, because the kids have been seeing psychiatrists for over a year, was that, you can go to your primary care and some things they will prescribe. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like my primary care, so it means I don't have to go through the rigmarole of finding a psychiatrist. Now, for the therapy side, I should do something about that. But, man, the current medical bill budget every month is already through the fucking roof. I'm not adding anything to that.
I'm glad I've been cleared from seeing the ortho.
Yeah, and that you had gone from like every 4 to 6 weeks to 6 to 8 weeks now, just as needed. So.
Right.
Okay, it's 10:01. So we can start the part where it's technically a Q&A. So we will continue to chat and bullshit and whatever else and be randomly chaotic. But also, if you have questions, something about us, something about kink, something about whatever, you can ask. Here's how that will work. If you want to ask us a question, what are words and why won't they come out of my mouth? If you want to ask us a question, please tag us in the live chat. Otherwise, we will not see it. And sometimes when the conversation starts flowing, it just ripples up and then we can't find it. So tag us, it lights up and we can see it. 2, if your question requires a lot of context, a couple of paragraphs or more to explain, this is not the right form for that question. We have a website, lovingbdsm.net, and a contact page on that website. Please feel free to send your question that way with all the backstory. We are happy to try to answer it. Yeah. Anything else? If you ask your question, please do not then spam the live chat if we don't get to it right away.
The moderators are going to get you.
Yep, they will drop the hammer and we will applaud them over here. Just saying.
And Mr. Spock asked how my back is doing. Thus far, very well. I have not had any lower back pain. I have not had any sciatica pain. I have not had any more weakness in either leg.
It's good.
Not done the drunken sailor walk in I don't know how many months now. So, overall it's good. Now, there are times when I overdo things in the shop working. And it just kind of gives me a little tap, tap, tap reminder that, hey, you remember me, right?
Yeah.
And, I have to slow down and take my meds. Last time I went to see the ortho, she was very shocked and surprised with me when she said, how you doing? Do you need refills and anything? And I'm like, no, I only take it when I need it. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, she said normally she has to tell people
to take a medication vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you only take it as you need it because you're not experiencing pain.
Right.
I mean, if you were experiencing pain, you would take your medication. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's been a nice.
The only thing she did that seemed to help did a cortisone. Actually, 2 cortisone.
She had to do it twice.
She had to do it twice. Two cortisone injections, and that seemed to have done the trick.
She did say that one, if if we got some time between when you got those shots and when you flared up again,
Yeah.
probably would be okay just doing another shot.
Right.
The longer the time frame is between them, the better chance they have of maybe working.
Right.
But the reality is it's really a when, not if. Your back goes out again.
Right.
If the cortisone shot doesn't do it, then it's time to go talk to a surgeon. So.
Yeah. So, I haven't really done anything dramatic, so to speak. I mean, they do tell me to lose the weight. That has been a struggle. We're both kind of fighting that battle and losing horribly.
Oh my God, yeah. But
You
somebody does have an unused gym membership.
Well, yeah.
But your mood also tanked, and then with
Right.
it, your energy levels and your motivation and
A lot of things, which was really kind of telling for me, and I really should have seen it. I'm always the one who likes to go to Munches and be around people and, be involved in the community and things going on, and I wanted nothing to do with it.
yeah. Well, there was a little thing where I think rightly so. I think your feelings were hurt, and I think my feelings would have been hurt too.
Yeah.
But I think that also happened as your mood was coming. It was in a low,
Right.
and so then you just didn't even want to go back.
Right.
And everybody's like, you went to a Munch last month?
Last month.
Yeah, and it was like, a reunion tour or something. Like,
Yeah.
there's Jimmy!
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
I'm over here at home like, oh, I'm so glad somebody else could be the social butterfly. Kinsey has a question. Thank you, Kinsey. Have you had to turn your dynamic off for a weekend because you were going to be around family that was very conservative? So we don't turn our dynamic off for that. We absolutely have been, while we've been together, around conservative family. All we do is we modify. So I never call him daddy around family, non-kink folk and family. Like, I just don't do it. So that's never an issue. That's a thing I reserve for my kink community or just between the two of us. And then most of our power exchange, sort of the way it survived while being parents as well, is very subtle. So you can't see it if you don't know what you're looking for. To an outside observer, especially a conservative family, it looks like I'm being the good Southern girl and making up my man's plate for him at mealtime, when actually what I'm doing is I'm a service sub serving her dom, right? Or I'm making sure he has what he needs, but thankfully, Southern conservatism and patriarchy don't even fucking blink when I, as a woman, am taking care of my husband, right? So we do it that way. We just, everything's super subtle. I still make sure he has coffee. I serve him his meals, which I don't usually actually do at home, but that's an option I have when we are with family, and it's meaningful to us as part of our dynamic. So we are still in our dynamic, and nobody around us has a fucking clue, not at all. And then our evening rituals, they get modified. Like, there's no bedtime spanking if I'm like at my mom's house or something, which for us has been years since we've stayed at my mother's house. That's a separate family drama, but so that would get modified. But the whole asking permission to go to bed, that was still happening because that was behind closed doors and nobody could see it. So no, the times
it shifts.
Yeah, the times we will purposely turn off the dynamic is not for stuff like that. It's for, we are in an active emergency and something has gone terribly wrong somewhere. But we keep our power exchange really subtle outside of the bedroom because we have kids. So we just keep that going in front of family members. So that's how that works for us.
Yep.
So... And thank you for your question. And just a reminder, anybody joining us now, we're in the Q&A part of this weird thing we do once a month. Just make sure you tag us in your question. So, yeah. since we're talking about health and wellness and medical stuff, apparently my shoulders and not my back in the same way, but my shoulders and neck are fucked. So yay. I'm trying to wear compression gloves to bed.
Yes.
It's helping one hand. It is not helping the other. So I've had for weeks now this problem where I will wake up in the middle of the night because not only have my hands gone numb, but when the blood circulation tries to come back, it's not typical pins and needles. It's like excruciating pain, and it will wake me up. And it's possibly carpal tunnel, because the first 3 fingers on my hand are hurt.
Oh, there we go.
But it's definitely, possibly, most likely my neck, because the other 2 fingers and these nerves on my pinky and my ring finger, they also hurt. So we're starting with compression gloves.
You didn't get Lola Cam, but she came up for an appearance.
Yep. Yeah, Kenzie, clearly you've already gone through the weekend. If that is something that you can anticipate happening again in the future, it's absolutely worth a conversation before you find yourself in that situation. Like, how can we modify? Can we modify at all? Are we just going to tone it down? Are we just going to turn it off? One of the things I consider like a positive for us. So, our kids are not JB's biological children. He's their stepfather. So they've only ever known him as Mr. John because, well, I'm Southern and sorry, I couldn't just tell a 6-year-old to call the man John. And I don't like to just call him by his first name. I will, but it does not feel right in my mouth. So if I can't call him Daddy or call him JB like I do here, I call him Mr. John the same way that when I was married to the kid's biological father, I referred to him as Dad or Daddy to them. Not as a title, it didn't mean anything, but that same thing that a lot of parents do with their kids. So, calling him Mr. John actually subs in as an honorific. It's like we go from Daddy to Mr. John, and weirdly, if you squint a little bit, it kind of has it could appear to have a similar context. What's happening?
They nose booped.
Onyx and Lola nose booped. And
Yep.
then Onyx hissed at Lola because of course she did. Of course she did. So I get that one as well. I'm not going to call him Daddy in front of certain folks. I call him Mr. John, and then it's an honorific.
Yeah.
So let's see. Little Miss asks, any fun plans for my upcoming birthday? And thank you. Thank you. I will be 44. You are in charge of the plans.
Yeah.
You took copious notes.
I did.
We went to Starbucks, took advantage of one of the fall drinks. He goes, okay, so your birthday. It's coming up. Pulls out his phone, opens up the notes app, and it's like, and has a list of questions for me. And you know what? It warmed my heart because it is stuff that I already know in my head for each of y'all. Like, it's a list I keep in my head of, okay, where do you want to go to eat? What kind of cake would you like? What would you like are there any presents you'd like, right? And normally I do not get an interview like discussion on what I want.
Well,
Previous years it's been like,
previous
rushed.
years I've always kind of had a fair good mind of what you like and what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I've done fairly well. I think last year kind of slipped with...
there was a lot going on.
But I also... The reason why I did that, because my mental health being what it's been, things just kind of slip off into the ether.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me take notes here, and
You did. And I know what answers I gave. I don't know what conglomeration of those answers will be the final result. And I'm good for that.
Yep, there are things in the works. Nope, not going to talk about it just yet.
Well, and we did this to ourselves, and we agreed to do this. Okay, this was a mutual decision. Our wedding anniversary is 2 days before my birthday. We do have plans for that. Early dinner.
Yeah.
And then play party.
Yeah.
Yep. So, thank you, little miss. You're right. You're right. I should have my own ringtone.
You do. You have a ringtone different than anybody else's on my phone.
Nope. It's one that's factory standard. It is not special. You did not go through a list of available ringtones, listening to the excerpts of a song to go, yes, that is my baby girl. When I hear that song, you call me? First of all, you're on emergency bypass. My phone has been silent for 10 fucking years, y'all. 3 people are on emergency bypass. Their texts and calls will get to me. JB and the 2 kids. And when JB calls, it's Mr. Brownstone by Guns N' Roses. Does it scare the shit out of me every time? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh. When the kids call or text, it's Stewie, mom. Now, does that make me want to, like, pull my hair out if I can't get to my phone fast enough to whatever? Yeah. Much like when they were younger and they're like, mommy. It's same. That same, like, feeling. But yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back up. Somebody mentioned that they had gotten the carpal tunnel thing on their wrist, and it was pretty easy and short. I'm not finding the comment now. I'm sorry. It's like it did that thing where
everything just kind of rolled real quick.
Yeah. Right now, I think we're doing that whole slow start with like easy things. Not because our primary care is great. If I tell her, hey, I'm having this problem, she's on it. Here's a referral. Here's whatever you need. But I think it's more of okay, we're going to try these non-invasive things because of insurance. So if we get to that point where it's like carpal tunnel, whatever, at least there's that documentation of trying all the non-invasive things first. My compression gloves for sleeping, I have 2 pairs. One pair, the pair I've been wearing nightly, is purple. I don't know if my right hand is just getting that much worse, but I also thought that my right compression glove was less compression-y than the left one, so I think I'm going to try the gray ones tonight.
Okay.
So, yeah. And Ari asks, am I getting an extra swat? I get birthday spankings.
Yes.
All of my years plus 1 to grow on.
Mm-hmm.
I also get JB's birthday spankings on his birthday, and he is 18 years older than me. And I'm gonna need him to stay right here at this age that he was, because it was 62 and 1 to grow on this year, and we were at 61, and I was like, "Are you sure you aged? Because I just don't think I can get through these sex too."
Still happy you're involved with an older man?
I am, except for, because see, some people would start like gentle, and like, but you start gentle, and then it's like a crescendo in music. Like by the time we're at 60 something, I mean, I'm not a religious woman, but I am trying to have a conversation with Jesus at that point. I mean, so. Okay, Crystal, on both wrists. Oh, that's good. Back to work. My aunt had it, and she was back at work, but her wrist was out of commission for a couple weeks. Now, she's got a lot of medical problems, so that could have been it. But either way, I have read about the little incision thingy that they do for carpal tunnel, and that it's pretty minimal. I don't know. My problem is part of it is carpal tunnel, because it's those 3 fingers, but it's also those on both sides. It's the other 2. So everybody I've talked to so far is like, oh yeah, that's your neck. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I got cortisone shots in my neck several years ago. Because be shocked sitting at a keyboard for 10 hours a day, hunched like this, looking down, isn't good for you. Couple that with the first 15 years of my life where I read looking straight down. I've never done my neck any favors. Not a one. But I will say, the reason I even knew to think of carpal tunnel, based on the symptoms that I have, was fucking Instagram, an Instagram reel. A spinal surgeon. She goes by, what's her handle? Lady Spinal Doc, I think is her handle on Instagram. She was talking, she does these educational reels, and she was like, okay, so let's talk about, do you go to sleep at night and wake up with your hands numb and pins and needles, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, that could be carpal tunnel. And then she's like, do your hands like this and do that. And here, so you can do like a test to go talk to your doctor about it. And I did it, and I went, oh, oh, yeah, it might be carpal tunnel.
Hi.
So.
You're back. You're back. I'm proud of you. You nose booped Onyx.
And didn't chase after Onyx when she did hiss.
No.
The nose boop occurred, and then so did the hiss.
I'm very proud of you. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl.
You know, I'm not going to point out the dog gets more good girls than I do. And the dog is not your trusty handy-dandy navigator in the car. I don't get to be a passenger princess. I got to navigate. And your shop elf. Just saying. And, like, this particular shop elf has been worked this week. I come in dusty. I take off my work clothes, put them in a separate pile, not to put them in the hamper, because I don't want all that on, like, clothes that have, you know, not got dust on them. This poor hair desperately needs to be washed, but every day I was like, why would I wash my hair so I could go back out there and get more sawdust on it? Oh, God. Dustin, I will tell you my big concern right now is, am I on my right hand, because it's so much worse than my left, and the symptoms, I can see a progression. That is my big concern, is that there's going to be permanent damage. But also, if I asked my primary care for a referral to whoever to deal with that, she would give it to me without blinking. But then I would start going through the process of all the appointments, and the bills just keep racking up. I was very excited that the youngest has progressed enough that instead of needing weekly therapy, we're down to bi-weekly, at least for right now. I was like, oh, yeah. Good, that's a savings. That's a savings. He's actually trying to maybe not take medication to see if, because he's had some changes and some progressions, and it's been great. And a part of me is going, what, you mean maybe I won't have to come to the psychiatrist every month and purchase 85 medications? What? That might happen? I'll spend the money. We don't have it, but I'll spend it if it helps him. But it means that everything that goes wrong with me, I'm like, no, that's an optional thing. If it's not falling off or bleeding profusely, just put a Band-Aid on it and keep on trucking. How many can you layer compression gloves? I wear like 2 or 3 pairs.
I don't know. That may be a question for some folks in our audience. They seem to have some medical. And y'all are going on about pizza.
Oh, Lord. You agree on the pizza needs to be foldable, don't you?
Well, yeah.
I enjoy foldable pizza,
but I mean,
it's so foreign to me that I don't quite know how to, like, I'll eat it. I'm happy to eat it. But I don't know.
But, there is no getting good pizza here in Florida. I mean, you
every
think
once in a while you find a little, like, transplant came down from New York.
Far and few between, but yeah.
I would like to try real deep dish pizza. I've never tried that before.
See, that's you're talking about the foldable. That's what, I did get some of that when I was up in New York. That was one of the very few highlights of the trip, and opened up that box and those big slices that you just take and you fold, and the grease and the oh my God, it was so good.
Okay, when you talk about the grease, tell me, just gurgles think. And yeah, you live in Florida, and what did we do tonight? Friday night? It was a Domino's night. It was a Domino's night. Yeah, there are a couple of semi-local places that are not they're kind of chains because there's a few of them, but they're not like chains like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut or whatever. And they're pretty good, but they're expensive as shit. I need the Domino's $6.99 deal.
I mean, the closest we've come to good pizza here is the Paisanos.
That's pretty good pizza. Yeah. You and I still have not gone and just like gone there and gotten a pizza.
No.
You've had a calzone. I've had multiple pasta dishes, but we.
Oh, their calzone is amazing.
Which tells me that their pizza would be really good.
Yeah.
Because isn't basically a calzone just a folded up pizza
Inside
and
out, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would love to try deep dish because I've never actually tried it. I would love actual authentic New York pizza. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion either way about should I fold it or not. I'm a little intimidated by the fold, but I can eat it. But yeah. Oh yay, we did get to the food portion. You can keep that scene. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Ooh.
No, thank you. Impact on needles. No, thank you. I support all the folks out there who enjoy that, but So, you do realize, because it's been literal years since we went anywhere to scene, and I've gained a little bit of weight since then. I don't have anything to wear to a play party. Would you like me to wear my mom pants that I wear for the parent teacher meetings? Sexy.
You and I are in the same boat.
I know. We need to go thrifting.
I'm not even sure my fedora would fit anymore.
Oh, stop. No, I mean, I never wore anything crazy, but
I know.
Usually a little slip-on
Yeah.
shift dress. I can just whip it off. Yeah, no. Now I've got my mom clothes. Or my Adam Sandler look. I really do spend a lot of time looking like Adam Sandler when I leave the house.
Well, I'm going for the early Jay Pritchett look, sweats and...
Oh. Okay, I think we need to go thrifting at some point this week before the play party.
Right, Rara. That works.
But see,
too.
I like to walk in with a look and have it be easy to take off. Like I said, I usually just wear a dress, a bra sometimes not, and that way I just whip it off. But especially since we're supposed to go to dinner prior to that.
True.
No, hey, maybe it's my sad be gone pills. I don't know, but I was not keen on the idea, and then I had to just put your big girl panties on talk with myself.
Is that how it went?
Oh yeah. I really did. But I did when I was telling JB. Well, I texted him because I was worried about the RSVP and there'd be a limit because it's somebody's personal party. And I was it might even be too late. Hope not. But so I texted him so he could do whatever he needed to do. He did nothing with it till he could sit me down, look me in the eye, and go, "So about that text you sent, what the hell's that about?" And so then I laid down some ground rules. I went, "Look, I will go. I will be in the place. If it is appropriate to, I will scene with you because we have not done a scene outside of our own fucking house since pre-pandemic, okay?
Yeah.
I will." I said, "But I don't want to have to fucking talk to anybody. I don't want to be social. I don't want to have to pretend to be friendly. I will be polite and respectful, but I would like to be the submissive who doesn't say anything. That is who I fucking want to be." So I'm going to be the life of the fucking party. I'm going to be a joy. They're going to want to invite me back. So, yeah. huge fan of eating naked. I mean, I don't know that I'm not a fan or like I have a strong opinion. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm already messy when I'm wearing clothes. I mean, and I often over the years had food spill down the cleavage to be found when I took the bra off later. I don't want to do that and be naked. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't be wearing a bra, so the food that would fall down the cleavage will not be caught by anything.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Oh, Rara, I don't blame you. If you're doing a lot hosting and topping, yeah, be comfortable.
Yeah.
Please be comfortable. I'm always the what can I get in and out of the easiest, the quickest. That also makes me like feel almost cute. Like I wouldn't mind if somebody looked at me. I've always kept it simple. It just none of that fits anymore. Yeah. Yeah, no, I not only need multiple napkins, sometimes it looks like I just dove in. I mean, I'm in my 40s and still get sauce on me when we eat spaghetti. I did not grow out of that after my childhood. And I dribble because I'm clumsy as fuck. Like, here's my fork, here's my mouth. Sometimes I still fucking miss it. I don't know how. We use cloth napkins now, primarily because the height of the pandemic, you couldn't get paper towels or napkins or anything. I was like, fuck that, let's get cloth ones. And we have so many, we just wash them, it's no big deal. Invariably, my cloth napkin is the dirtiest, crustiest of all of us. Now, do the kids not use their napkin at all and just use their sleeve? Right. Yes. So that part's not a fair comparison. But between me and JB, he could be like, he who has a beard and mustache that catches his food, he still just has to dab a little bit. And it's like, me, I'm like, barbecue sauce that's spreading on my cheek. I mean, I just... I get into my food, but not because I'm that enthusiastic about it. And look, I was raised pretty strictly on table manners. Like, I mean, I don't think my mom cared that much, but somehow my dad really fucking cared. Like,
yeah. And
like you would think, knowing like how I know how my mother was raised, she is Southern. You would think she would have been the one that would, but nope. My father was, oh my God, like, don't put your elbows on the table kind of string.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. And he managed to raise a kid who's like, but with a fork somehow. God help it if we're eating soup. Have you noticed I'm not a soup girl?
Yeah.
Part of it is I'm more of a chowder girl. I'm a creamy soup girl to begin with. I don't like these broth fucking soups. But,
yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
But,
yeah.
I mean, so that's part of it, is preference. But the biggest obstacle is that spoon has to get to my mouth. And it's a hot liquid that is not reinforced on any sides.
I mean, you know, you know it. I mean, like when it comes to clam chowder, I'm all about the New England style.
I do love a New England
Manhattan
clam chowder.
don't do nothing for me.
No.
But the New England clam chowder,
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm with you. I love a good cream-based soup or one that is really just like thinner mashed potatoes. We're calling it a potato soup. I'm like, no, really, you just thinned out those mashed potatoes. But I'm here for it. Yeah, I want my soup thick enough that it could probably just walk. Like, just...
Yeah.
But...
A soup straw, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the problem. Soup straw. Somebody will make me laugh. I'll snort while the straw is in my mouth and the soup still goes everywhere. How do I know? Because I already do it with beverages. So. I know who I am. And again, it goes back to being raised with like really strict, like table manner kind of thing.
Yeah.
The idea of leaning forward to my soup, which would be the safest thing, less of it is on me. I do at this point. I'm old enough and pragmatic enough. I'm like, fuck it. I just got to get it into my mouth without pouring it on myself. But as a kid, right, exactly. As a kid, it was absolutely sit up straight and like bring the spoon to you. And I was like, okay, soup's going. So yeah, I just need to eat things I can spear with my fork real hard. I'll probably still drop it. If it's got a sauce, it'll probably still drip on me, but we have a better chance of success if I can just stab it real hard. For anybody who's just joining us, this is not actually what the stream is about, and we are in the Q&A portion. If you want to ask a question, you can. Just please make sure you tag us. If you do @ and then start typing "Living BDSM," it'll pop right up for you. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's probably why I'm okay with chili. That's thick enough.
Okay.
You know, you notice I don't make a real brothy.
No, you don't.
Chili.
No.
No.
And I'm fine with that too. I'm
No.
not.
Technically, with the thickness of my chili, you could probably use a fork and be okay. I mean, it might dribble a little bit, but yeah. So Lola's cot is across the office.
Yeah. And she's laying on the side.
And there's a stack of boxes next to you. So the space that she can fit in is about 2 feet wide.
If that, yeah.
And she has
And
just
she's
shoved herself in there.
Yep.
Okay. I just don't want anything to be brothy. Regardless. I mean, now there was a... Okay, I'm going to show that I did not have... There was a time in my life I did not eat real Italian food. The zuppa toscana from Olive Garden, that's a brothy soup. I love that soup. I like that soup. It's a very liquidy, brothy, but it's got potato and sausage in it, and so I'm down.
Now, see, for me, there is one exception to the rule with that. Friday nights was pasta fazool night.
I know those words, but I don't, and maybe I've had it and not known it. What is pasta fazool?
It's almost like a soup. The way my grandmother, my mom used to make it was make a tomato sauce, make the gravy, and then you thin it out, and then you add.
Okay, so when you say gravy, you mean spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
Us non-Italians would call that spaghetti sauce. Okay, a red sauce, a marinara.
Okay. And then it's thinned out, and then you add pasta. Whether most of the time it was either shells or elbows, something like that, and then it was put in, or then peas would go in there. Another time, chickpeas, garbanzo beans.
Yeah, I mean, I love chickpeas / garbanzo beans, but
yeah, oh, it was good. I would eat so much of that.
the thing, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, because my dad was raised by Italians. He was himself was not Italian, and then he was a transplant from New Jersey down to Florida, and things get lost in translation. But what my dad used to make, all the time, and it's still to this day one of my favorite pasta things. Oh God, am I gonna say it right? Fuck. Pasta aglio. No, pasta. How did he say it? Fuck. Basically, he used spaghetti. I'm sure he could have used another one. Tons of olive oil, garlic, chopped minced garlic, Parmesan cheese, shredded Parmesan cheese, and scallions. And it's all mixed up together. It was fucking amazing. I don't remember what it was called. Pasta aglio? Is that what it was? I think that's what he called it. I'm not Italian. I'm sure I'm not saying the words right. It was so good. There was nothing brothy about it. Like you would actually like the bottom of your pot would be like gunky. That was a good one.
So, and yeah, it pretty much is silent. Kidney beans was the other that they would put in there sometimes. I love that stuff. I would. Oh man, I would just eat and eat and eat. Give me another bowl. Give me another bowl. Please, can I have some more?
I knew was not around my typical Southern roots the day we'd been living together for like 30 minutes. It felt like, and we went over to your sister's, and your mom was cooking, and she said, "Do you want rice and gravy?" Now, I'm a white chick from the South. That means a very specific thing to me. I was like, sure. It was rice and a red sauce, a marinara, whatever. And it was all mixed together. And then it was so much. It was so much. And what I learned that day was, one, your mother was a fantastic cook. Mm-hmm. Two, I don't like my pasta sauce with rice. I'll eat it. I mean, it's edible. It's fine. But if you're going to ask me what I want, that won't be it. That won't be it. That won't be it.
I made it after that. The boys loved it.
Oh, yeah. And you notice I was like, Yeah. And I love your sauce.
Yeah.
Yours, nope. Look, while he still worked in an office, if we got pasta sauces, because I bought a jar of something, okay? Yeah. And I do know how to make a quick sauce. Mm-hmm. I have lost to time my dad's recipe for like the sauce that he would spend 2 or 3 days making, because he was raised by Italian ladies. Mm-hmm. He was, I don't think he was ever formally adopted. I think he was fostered. And so they taught him how to cook, and he would make this sauce that, I mean, you'd wake up at 7:00 in the morning
and you'd smell it,
and you'd immediately be hungry, but also go, but wait, this is not time to eat spaghetti. I can't make that anymore. Like, he used to have me help him. That's been lost to time. I can make a quick sauce, but I was a frazzled mom of young children for too long, so now it's a jar. Thankfully, JB's like, no, I can make a sauce. I'm like, okay, good.
So yeah, I remember that time you're thinking about. Yeah, she brought out the big thing of the rice. Excuse me, and that was only the first plate.
Yeah, and typical Italian matriarch, she was like, "Oh, you look hungry." Plop, plop. I watched you, and I kind of followed your lead. Like, it's just piled on your plate, and so we all just kind of smoothed it out, so it was like this thick, round disc on top of the plate. Very thick, though. And then you kind of sectioned it off to eat, like, strategically. Could not do it. It was, it was delicious, but I am not a pasta sauce and rice girl. No. I'll take any shape of shell you want, even the ones I've never fucking heard of before. It's fine. But, yeah. Yeah, the kids did eat it up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that the youngest would eat that now.
Probably not.
His tastes have changed. His sensory stuff has shifted a bit.
Yeah, probably not.
Somehow, we've been eating way too much pizza this child's entire life. And he finally found the exact type of pizza he likes. Is the only kind of pizza he'll eat. It is, of course, from Domino's. And after all these years of not only trying different pizzas and finally narrowing it down to a very specific, he doesn't like cheese. He does not. He'll tolerate it on pizza because that's how he's gonna get pizza, but he doesn't like cheese. And finally, today was the first time we ever thought, why don't we just do light cheese? I can't go no cheese, because how the fuck is anything staying on that pizza? The cheese is the glue. But we did light cheese. He ate the whole goddamn pizza. It was just a medium. But did you notice?
Yes, I did.
How did we go this long without thinking, why don't we just ask for light cheese? Less cheese on it, please. How?
They could give me...
I know. Well, if they didn't upcharge,
I know.
I would.
I know.
That app, that Domino's app, asks me every time.
Yeah.
I feel like I've missed something. There's now a competition.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about a paddle. I'm very confused. I don't know if I'm going to try and parse it out. Drink my Diet Coke. So I finished my Diet Coke.
You did.
It was $1. If you've got a racetrack gas station near you, and you get the app, which is just giving them your phone number, whatever, any size fountain drink is $1. It's $1. I'm just saying, if you've got a racetrack near you, I'll put you on. Georgia Little, I think you're right. Georgia Little said, my great-grandmother always said if you ate everything, you were hungry, but if you didn't finish, then took offense, and it would just keep feeding us. I think it's an Italian thing. I think it is, too.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is, too. There's something a little similar with, like, Southern grandmas. They kind of have a little bit of that, too, but, yeah, it's a very specific style from Italian grandmas. I love fountain drinks. I love them. I don't allow myself to think about, has this thing ever been cleaned? Probably not. Like, I just don't. I go, okay, look at me beefing up my immune system over here. Yeah, that does seem to be the conversion. Correct. But I've gotten better about not constantly going out to get a Diet Coke.
You have. You really, yeah.
But if the fucker's going to be $1 and we're going by a racetrack, hey, you got 10 cents off a gallon when you had to get gas tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with that, I actually got gas under $3.
I know. Per gallon.
Per gallon, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is seasoning. The fountain scum is seasoning. Okay? And you know what? I hate to say this because I feel like I'm a connoisseur of fountain drinks in our local area. Nobody does it better than McDonald's. Nobody has ever done it better than McDonald's.
I chuckle at that when you're talking about that with the fountain scum. But you know what? The way these places like Wawa and that, I mean, the way the people line up, and it doesn't matter what time of day.
Oh my God.
There's no time for anything to grow on these things. Way people use it.
But the thing is what the problem is the spout where it comes out never gets actually cleaned.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, Dustin,
Yeah.
I don't want any urine, so can't say that. I just don't like how any of it tastes unless it's coming from a fountain. Yeah, X, we've had to do that too. Wash a water bottle or a cup that gets used a lot, even for just water. And, some of the things that... Silent's just trying to make sure none of us ever enjoy a store-bought beverage again. That is what it is. No. It kills me that the best Diet Coke I ever drink is from McDonald's. I don't want to go to McDonald's as often as I want a Diet Coke. And also, I have now can start to tell, who doesn't have their carbonation flavor quite right.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it tastes a little flat. It tastes a little too carbonated. That's not quite right.
You're like the connoisseur of fountain drinks.
But you give it to me for $1, I'll overlook a lot of shit. The other thing is I know where to go to make sure I'm getting the crushed ice, the good ice. I understand, but I do not understand these places who are like, this one is crushed ice and this one is cubed. Why? Just make them both crushed and let's move on with our day. Ghosty asks, any advice on finding a mentor? I'm new to being a dominant and in over my head. Do you have any advice?
I would say probably the best way to go about that is look and see if you have a local community. And, if you do, attend Munches, and
if you have local community, look for Dom specific workshops and meetings.
Some communities have, like Woodshed down here, they have a Dom meeting every month. Where you can, what?
I read X's comment while you were trying to seriously answer the question, so I'm going to look at you now.
They have, and even some of the local communities here, like up in Gainesville, they started a Dom meeting monthly. So you want to look for those kind of things. If you don't have a local community, look around and see, because one of the pluses that kind of happened with the lockdown is that a lot of things went virtual. A lot of things still are virtual. A lot of places have held on to that. They're doing hybrid meetings. Look for different workshops. If you have a dungeon in your area, look for workshops. That you can attend and learn. Read books.
Or listen to podcasts, or watch videos, or however you like to take videos. Information.
The Loving Dominant is an amazing book.
It's very
it's a little
cis heterocentric.
Yes.
But the what are we going to say? The
tone.
The tone and the intention of what that book is trying to get across, I think is a good one.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah. The other thing is I think I agree with everything JB said. I don't have anything to add there. But the thing I would point out is, if you notice what JB is saying is, go find groups, go find people, go find community. The thing with a mentor, there are some kinksters that can be great mentors. They can be, they can be almost like coaches, right? Like they kind of help guide you where you figure your thing out. But some are going to tell you the way they do things, and that might not be the way you do things. So if you narrow it down outside of a broad community to just a person that you're like, hey, could you mentor me? Could you help me? The thing I would say to look for is, are they open-minded to the plethora, the infinite ways of how you can be a dominant and what that means, because that is unique to each person. And the thing that always makes me a little hesitant about mentors, coaches, whatever, is because there are just too many people who kind of have the one true way kind of thinking, or the quote right way to do things. So if you do seek out an individual, you want to look for somebody who is not trying to tell you how to be a dominant, and more willing to answer your questions or offer some guidance or some insight while encouraging you to find your own path. So.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm reading all of the comments that came through while we were doing that, and I was not looking at the chat because of X.
I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Mally, online support has just exploded in the past several years. I mean, it was growing before the pandemic, but thankfully it looks like it's here to stay, and I'm grateful for that. Oh, and Christy, good for you for going to your first Munch. That can be really nerve-wracking, but the majority of people that I have known who finally went to their first one all kind of end up saying the same thing of, oh, it was better than I thought it would be, or oh, it wasn't as bad, or oh, I understand why I was nervous, but then people were really friendly and welcoming. So hopefully that is your experience as well. The hardest part is going to the first one. After you go to the first one, it does get and I say this as somebody with severe social anxiety, it does technically get a little bit easier. So you wandered off.
I did. Or at least I told you I was wandering off before I wandered off.
But then you still just wandered off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I am pulling apart this sad little paper towel.
You know, I just noticed the little heart is gone.
I took it off.
Thank you.
Silent begged me, and I was like, let me go see what kind of power I have over this thing. And I found it, and then I'll have to be reminded for next week's Wednesday stream to manually turn that off.
Oh, okay. I'll remind you.
And after I do it then I probably should not have to turn it off again.
Oh, if you do it a couple times,
No, it's one of those things, when I schedule a stream, I basically duplicate a previous stream, and so the settings are all there.
Okay.
So once I have those in place, it's just done.
All right.
Yep, that's how that usually goes.
Okay.
But did it take a hot ass minute to find where to turn off it's called live reactions for anybody who's like, what the hell? It was, I don't see it in the way y'all see it. Because I'm looking at the back end dashboard. So I guess it was this giant heart that was like clogging things up and making things hard to access, hard to see. I don't know.
Well, like for me, where because I view the chat on my iPad. Okay. And the heart sits in the corner.
The bottom
right.
Okay.
And it would block a lot of the chat. Sometimes make it hard to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, they did not make it easy to go find where to turn it off. I had to go in to schedule a stream, and there's like 4 or 5 pages I'm clicking through on settings, and I clicked like to the second or third page, and then scrolled down, and then expanded a thing I don't normally expand, and then had to read all of and then found the box. I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, sometimes they don't make that shit easy to find.
No, they do not. They also, sometimes they tell you when you get a feature, and sometimes they do not. And I really don't think that they told us about live chat, live reactions, or whatever the hell they were called. But quite frankly, the big rule here is, if you want something fixed on like one of our streams, you have to contact me directly and get in front of my eyeballs, or I will not know. I will miss it.
It wouldn't have been such a big deal if you could move it.
Sure. Or make it go away, close it out. Yeah.
Right.
So, but
yeah, I feel like Orlando.
There's so much in Orlando.
I haven't been in a long time, but they had a very, very big Munch. Their Munch was huge.
The last time we went to that one, I was like,
no, that was something else.
No, we went to an Orlando Munch. I was with you at it. I know we went to a different thing, but we've also been to an Orlando Munch. We have been to an Orlando Munch.
The one at Sonny's?
Yes.
That was a rope munch.
Still a munch.
Okay.
I don't care what their focus is.
Okay. All right.
It was a big one, is my point. Yes, it was. And if that slightly niched down rope group was that big, I don't think I could survive a general
munch. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, just a reminder, because I can see people coming in and out and whatever. The Q&A is going. If you'd like to ask a question, just make sure to tag us, and you do that by typing @ and then start typing Loving BDSM. It'll come up, and it'll tag us. And you can ask your questions. So, yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Kim,
thank you, Kim.
Sometimes I have a momentary lapse of reason. It happens. Yeah.
I'm not always good at them, but words are like my job. Up until a certain point in the day, and then the words are gone, and I don't do the words anymore.
I'll just take it out and skin later.
That's fine. Now, depending on how y'all feel about it, Opheliac, I've gone to a few around here and had a good time to the extent that my social would allow. Could you go without your husband and go by yourself? Would you feel comfortable with that? Would that would be an option? Because at this point, JB just goes like, see ya, have a good time, order something fun off the menu. Thank you, Andre. Hey, from our perspective, that's actually multiple Diet Cokes. I appreciate that.
It's a good thing we don't have a racetrack nearby.
Oh, I have made, not for racetrack, but I think for somewhere else that was offering some kind of good deal. I've made some
I know.
wonky paths to get where I need to go so I could stop at the appropriate gas station.
The long way around, yeah.
Look, I already take the long way around when I drive because I'm not taking the major highway. I'm going to take the back road. So what's an extra 5 minutes to get to the preferred gas station that has some special price on whatever? God help you if I'm getting a free drink. Circle K did a thing, and I didn't
She'll spend $10 in gas to get a damn free drink.
Girl math. Circle K did this thing, and I guess I technically still have it because I never finished it, where when you joined their rewards program as a new member, you got 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups, which we still, I think, have 2 more. And you got your first 5 fountain drinks for free. I had no clue. I just knew I had signed up for the rewards program. And Circle K is not convenient to us. We very rarely are passing a Circle K unless, there's one route we might take to go one place. Honey, I was fine in the Circle K's. How long do we have to drive? Was it for the 25 cents off per gallon? It should have been. No, it was for that free drink.
Silent, don't give her any ideas, please. Please don't give her any ideas.
I have looked at those. Look, there's some special caramel coloring, artificial flavoring, aspartame concoction that the Coca-Cola company does that makes my Diet Coke. And I just don't think I could make it taste the same at home.
Then I have to share my coffee bar.
The coffee bar is essentially mine because I'm the one who makes 75% of the coffees. I give you the 25% because you do physically make your morning cup of coffee.
Right.
I prepare it. I lay it out for you.
But a good portion of the coffee you make is in service to me.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that's my coffee bar. Let's be real here. Silent Wing's being very helpful. Okay, girl math says that if we got one of those home carbonator things, regardless of I don't know how much they cost, within a certain number of times of drinking from it, it's paid for itself. It's like making coffee at home, so we don't go to Dunkin' or Starbucks as often. But then I would need the ice machine that makes the ice nuggets, the good ice.
Oh, fuck it.
I would need that ice machine. And I know they make them. They make them for tabletops too. You can put them on top of your counter. So I have a strange relationship with Pepsi. Because as a kid, I drank a lot of Pepsi. Fucking loved it. Not diet. Pepsi. It's a lot of my childhood memories involve a Pepsi. Don't drink it at all now because I don't drink. If I'm drinking a soda, it's a diet soda. It's just my preference. Give me the aspartame. Okay. Splenda if it's gotta be, but whatever. But I hate Diet Pepsi. When we go to a restaurant, if they don't have Diet Coke, I'm getting unsweet iced tea or water. If it's Diet Pepsi, guess I'm not drinking a soda that day. Can we stop on the way home at the gas station to get a Diet Coke? And yet, Pepsi is a huge part of my... We didn't drink Coke when I was a kid. We drank fucking Pepsi. But we also did not drink Diet. Thank you, Kim. See, girl math comes in here. I have been wanting to make a little short, like a reel or a short on kink math. Because there's all this girl math, boy, and I do resonate with some of the girl math. If you've already loaded the money onto your Starbucks or Donkey card and you go to get a coffee, that coffee is free. If you pay with cash, free. If you ordered it a month ago and it arrives now, like you pre-order a book, that book is free. If you bought something one day and you have to return it and you get a store credit and you use said store credit at the store, that thing you bought with your store credit was free.
You need to watch the movie Idiocracy. Yeah. That's why we're in so much damn trouble.
Girl math ain't why we're in so much fucking trouble, okay? It's called capitalism payment structures is why we're in so much trouble. Andre, that does not sound familiar.
No.
I don't know if that was a typo, but that does not sound familiar. Yeah, and I don't like regular Coke. I don't like regular Coke at all. It does not taste right. But Diet Coke, whoo! See, Kim, your coffee's free. You're welcome. Look, if I've already taken the money out of the account and that money's spent, okay, we're not here about sunk cost fallacy, since I got that right when we talked about it on Wednesday. Thank you, X, I think it was, for confirming that. That money's already been spent. So by the time I go to buy that coffee's free. Because I already spent it out of the account. If it's out of the account, it's already been accounted for. So anything I buy later, especially like way later, finding out that your Starbucks or Donkey card has like $5 on it when you thought you were down to zero, that is the equivalent of back in the day finding like a 20 in your winter coat pocket after it'd been packed up for the summer or something. It's like, damn, look at all this. Quite frankly, I'm still looking at those letters and I'm still thinking that's a typo. That's a lot of K's and that's a lot of J's and I's. That's what I'm trying to say. That's a lot of J's and I's. That's supposed to be a word. How would one say that word?
Kijiji?
That's what my brain did, but I don't know. But with a Canadian accent? I don't know. And what does that mean? Because Canada is massive, so I'm sure there's multiple regional accents. I don't know.
Well, I learned a new term the other day, Canadian term.
Okay.
I took a picture of our setup here.
Of our recording
setup.
Oh, okay.
And I posted it on Threads.
Oh, yeah, I saw. My Instagram was like, oh, Kinky John Brownstone has posted something to Threads. You should go look at it.
Yeah. And somebody replied that it was skokum.
I think I've heard or read that word before, but I don't know that word.
And I was like, okay, thank you, but what is this word?
Can you please translate?
Yeah. And basically it's something that's like really good or something.
Like cool.
That. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does one spell that word?
Skookum. Skokum.
I would have said skookum if it's a double O. I don't know. Okay, Canadians.
And Silent said I pronounced it. I got it right.
I see. That's a site? I'm just be giggling.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not started any of our holiday shopping, and I'm already dreading it. Kitty Rose asks, what are some unusual or lesser used honorifics that you have heard?
Take care, Opheliac. Hope everything is okay.
I've heard chief. I've heard coach.
Coach, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been so long, I can't. But yeah, Chief.
I don't know if I was reading
one.
somebody's blog or if it was Twitter back when Twitter was less awful than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But I could have sworn somebody, I don't know if it was maybe their dom had a doctorate, like a PhD, or they had their medical degree, but the honorific was doctor. They called them doctor.
That one I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's been ages since I saw that, but it
Chief,
was like,
I remember very well.
I've known a couple people who use that. And coach, I've known a couple people who use that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm trying to think. I mean, there are some that I've seen that are clearly personal to the person, or they have been some sort of equivalent of Sir, Dom, Master, Mistress, whatever, but just in another language.
I mean,
and I'm not going to try and butcher those languages.
Heard someone call Sir, my lord.
Yes, I have seen that a few times.
I have heard, my lord or milady.
Oh yeah, we used to know a milady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I've seen that a few places. Yeah. Captain.
Captain,
Yep, that's
yes.
a good one. Yep.
So. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, sometimes the easiest, air quote that, way to kind of take a more typical or common honorific in like your native language and then use another. And it's a tricky thing. You want to make sure there's no like cultural appropriation going on there. But if it's like just translate it into another language, the same word, as long as it has the same meaning, and use that is something I've seen people talk about.
Okay.
So, yep. I'm trying to think. I could have sworn. Now, for the other side of that, the submissive side of that, I've not. Those tend to be like very personal pet names as well.
Yes.
If I see anything, and I can't think of any specific ones off the top of my head. No, I can't think for subs. Crystal asks, how about things to call your friends Dom? Literally just called my friends Dom blanks daddy.
Yeah.
The question there is ask them. How should I address you?
Yeah, ask them.
How can I refer to you? Or if if your friend is the submissive, okay, what should I say?
Yeah. I mean, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but I used to have some people call me, just kind of call me sir out of the blue, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
And a lot of times people do it thinking that they're doing it as a sign of respect.
Respect, yes.
The problem is that is an assumption on your part that word's not loaded for somebody, right? Like it might have a different meaning. So, best case scenario, just ask how can I address you, or if like you're talking about your friend's partner, how can I refer to them? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, that's something that you really need to ask. That's kind of the best way to go about that. I know many years ago, because there were so many different, and not to say that there isn't now, but there were so many years ago when I first came into the lifestyle, there were so many different protocols. It was very common for someone to ask, what would you like to be called? What are your protocols for interacting with your sub, if any?
Yeah, there was a time and there wasn't a place you took me where we were not asked that. How can I talk to your sub? How can I address your sub? Like, that was just, I think that's a community thing. It depends on the culture of the community.
Correct.
Anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, and yeah, I because I see most of the emails and DMs that both of us get, that desire to be respectful, I get it and I appreciate it, but yeah, for both of us, it's very weird when a random person calls JB sir. Like, who are you? That word has a meaning, like, not between us. I don't use that anymore.
No, you don't.
But we did at one point, and you do and have used that with other submissives, and so
Correct.
it's like, it's I mean, I don't know. It's almost like a stranger seeing you in your underwear when you did not consent to that. When you do consent to it, it's a different feeling. But it's like, that's like, how did you get in here? It's personal. Yeah, Kim, I have gotten, if I'm doing kink stuff, I don't refer to anybody as sir. When I am staunchly in the non-kink life, that Southern training does come back out. If you appear to be masculine and you are older than me, I'm, probably going to call you sir or ma'am, because I could still feel my mother's smack if I don't all these years later. Like, but
yeah, Mr. Spock, that it was, when I first came into the community, there was still quite a few old guard folk around, and high protocol was big.
It was sort of the standard.
The standard.
Air quote that.
The dungeons, they would have high protocol dinners.
And I think some places probably still do that kind of thing.
They may still.
Just not as frequently.
They would practice this.
Oh yeah, because
months
it was
beforehand,
like a stately kind of like.
Oh yeah.
And if a submissive
very specific
was involved
way of serving,
in the serving, like it was, if a submissive fucked up, all eyes were on the dom. Like, that was a very clear, from everything I understand, because I've never attended one, would not, but everything I've read about them, that is the quintessential. Your submissive is a reflection of. A submissive is a reflection of their dom, and so in those situations, if the sub fucks up, it's not a good look for anybody. Dynamic. That kind of stuff just always felt like way too much pressure to me, because when I first moved down to Tampa Bay area and you introduced me to that local community, they were definitely still doing shit like that.
Oh, it was still,
and that was 10 years ago,
right?
Because for that community, that was still a common thing. And the idea of it stressed me the fuck out. I was like, no, that's definitely not my scene. That is for other people to do and have a good time. Nope. Now, outside of a kink context, I find it very strange when I get ma'amed. I also find it strange when I get ma'amed because somebody has contacted me in a kink context. It's like, again, I think you're going for a respect thing, but like when it's outside, if it's in a vanilla context and somebody ma'ams me, it's usually like the clearly like 12-year-old who's cashiering at the grocery store, and and their mama taught them right. I get it, but also I'm like, no, I'm not a ma'am. I can't possibly be a ma'am. I'm in my 40s. Yes, I can, but still, don't ma'am me. But when it's somebody sliding into the Kayla Lord's DM or email and they're mamming me while asking about a kink thing, I get the ick so fucking fast.
I mean, it's very weird because I'm at that point too where, if I'm out somewhere, I get, by waiter or somebody, I get the, sir, and it's like, that doesn't that doesn't roll right in this context.
I think I don't. We weren't tagged, but I do see Neri asked, what if your dom is at least a decade younger than yourself? I mean, I guess my question is, what do you mean? What if? Like, what? Like the honorifics, the interaction? Dominant, submissive, it can be an identity. Absolutely. It can be just an activity. Yeah. But it's also a vibe and a mindset. So while I personally, because of my own personal preferences, cannot imagine a dominant who's younger than me, and that's all personal, I don't deny that somebody younger than me could have that air and that vibe and make me go, oh, okay, I'll listen to that person. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. What Kim just said in the chat, it's the mindset.
Yeah,
and that's really it. You know, if age doesn't matter, if you respect this person and trust them as your dominant,
and the way they treat you, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, whatever, inspires you to follow their lead. Age don't matter. I think there can be something said, again, this is probably a personal preference thing, on experience, but shit, we've known 60-year-old doms who didn't have a lick of experience yet. You only get experience by doing the thing. Yeah.
So, you know, and it's funny, you know, I had a phone call from one of the companies that does some service work for us, and they just hired a new office person. I could tell she was definitely from the South, because every time she referred to me, I was honey.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's funny because if you asked me that, like, in this moment, are you okay with that? I'd probably be like, not really. It depends on the vibe of the person. There are some people who have honeyed, babied, sugared me, and I was like, bitch, you were in my kindergarten class. Like, well, you were the same fucking age. What are you doing? Yeah. And I don't like it. I'm like, no, thank you. Then there are some people, and I think it's just who they are, and maybe it's something natural, maybe it's their tone, maybe they would just be my people if I wasn't, like, just trying to set an appointment somewhere. And they honey, baby, sugar me, and I just, like, my cheeks turn all pink, and I'm like, I think that's a vibe, and not everybody has the vibe.
Yeah.
I did not get the Southern Lady Handbook that said there was a certain age where I had to start calling folks that. Thank God that handbook missed me in the mail. Because it could not be me. Could not fucking be me. I don't want to talk to people I don't know anyway. I sure as shit don't want to call them a cutesy name. Now, give me like a toddler to a baby. They are all babies. They are all baby honey. Yes. The little teeny tiny ones that can't really speak to me yet? Sure. Yeah. But grown-ass people? No.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia Little, that would be a weird feeling for someone. A customer called her baby at work. I mean, that's
yeah. And I think it's okay for that to give you the ick. Two, for it maybe even to feel inappropriate. It's hard on the cultural level thing. And because there's so many people we come across where it's this fleeting interaction that it's 99% of the time not worth it to have the conversation of, wait, please don't call me that you kind of just, you go, ooh, I don't like it, and then you just let it slide. But then if it's a person who you're coming in consistent contact with, it gets worse. But also, you know, I don't ever like to go, but they were raised like that, because everybody can fucking change. I know I have changed from the way I was raised. I don't know. I think I have way too many biases about it, because I was raised by people who honey baby sugared me my whole fucking life. And then I've been in those situations. And when I was 19, if a woman who didn't look like she could be my grandma didn't call me honey or sugar at the register, I'd have been like, she must not be from around here. Like, it's a weird thing, because it's so normalized to me that I absolutely get, and I don't really want it for myself, but I don't know.
I mean,
it's definitely a consent thing, but sometimes it's just not worth the interaction. So fleeting, it's not worth the conversation.
It's a consent thing, absolutely. And I think part of what it is too, we as kinksters understand the weight that these terms carry in the lifestyle. We understand, what pet names mean in the lifestyle,
and how personal it can all
and
be.
how personal it can be. And I think outside of that, people have no understanding of that.
No, and
you know,
and depending on where you're from and what you heard from the little age up, if it's normalized to you, you don't even stop to think about it. If it's not, quote, normal to you, at this point, I've been out of interacting on a social level for so fucking long, it's no longer truly normal to me.
I hate to say it, you know, but there was a time back in the late 70s in the disco, you know, it was common, babe, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, sure, I got you, babe. It was a whole fucking song.
Yeah. So, you know, it's
you know the one I don't like, and I didn't like it when I was of an appropriate age for it to be used on me, and I don't like it now, and because it comes across to me as very impersonal, but like a try hard, like trying way too hard. Girl. Girl. Hey, girl. Okay, if we are on that level where I am your girl, like not in a kink way, but like a friendship way, fine. We're cool. Go for it. But if you are like cold emailing me, I'm not your hun or your girl. Like, back the fuck off. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's different. Georgia Little, that's so different. It's a guy.
Yeah.
Nope. That's different. Nope, that's different. That's no.
Yeah. And yeah, you know, Rana said in kink situations, best to avoid terms of endearment
because you don't know.
You don't know. and you know, if you are ever in spaces like FET, a lot of people will say, you know, do not call me a pet name. That is a hard limit for me.
Right.
You know, unless we are involved, you know, we have some kind of dynamic, you know, because pet names can be so personal and carry so much weight. You know, and that's why I go back to saying, you know, I think that's why in the lifestyle we understand.
We're way more aware of it. Yeah. Because our normal is not the non-kink vanilla normal.
Yeah.
Okay, Natalie, you've pointed something out that I can commiserate on a little bit. Natalie says, my daughter has always been called baby girl. Now her husband calls her that. She's gotten a baby girl tattoo on her ass. Okay. Her dad still calls her that, and it makes her feel weird. Let me tell you, I forgot, because it had been literal years since my mother used it. My mother calls me baby girl. So does my husband. With way different meanings.
Yeah, right.
And it's fine if she's like talking to me or texting me, it doesn't matter. But then I'll get like a card, like a birthday card or whatever, and I'm going to forget it in about 30 seconds. But sometimes it might like be put out or passed around, and my mother's calling me baby girl, and I'm looking at JB like, it means something different, I promise. I promise it does. Yeah. I used to, when we first moved in together, my little white 2012 Toyota Corolla that now has 100,000 miles on it. It's fully paid for, so I will keep driving it. Thank you. We got me a front van, not a vanity plate like from the state, but like the kind you kind of make and put on your front bumper. And it said baby girl.
Yes.
And a lot of people, it was really weird. A lot of people who saw that, wasn't like a lot of people saw it, but a lot of people who saw it somehow thought that like my parents bought me that car or that I was way younger. And then there was a day I was going through a drive-through, and the man at the drive-through understood the connotation, and he got super flirty super fast. And I was like, I am both super flattered and also a little squicked out and also grateful that you are not assuming that, you know, it's like, yeah, my daddy did buy me this, but not the daddy you think. Like, you know, like. But that one guy who got it, he was like, oh, I see you, baby girl. And I was like, oh, shit. I've been being perceived. Yes, Mr. Spock. JB's driving the 2009 RAV with
169,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
69.
Yeah.
Paid for, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, silent context is everything.
Yep, that's true. That's very true. Very true.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain people, and I couldn't tell you who they are until I interact with them. That it like there are people when they'll call me, or I'll call them like a doctor's office, I think if I perceive that they're older than me, and I perceive that I would like them, like I like them, they
Yeah.
seem nice when they do that little pet name thing, it doesn't bother me. A couple times I've like giggled and blushed. I felt like a little kid again, you know?
Yeah.
And then there are those times I'm like, no, we don't vibe. You can't call me that. Don't call me that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the woman on the phone, I didn't have a bad feeling about it. She was very, you know, she had a very heavy Southern accent. She was very bubbly and outgoing, and just you know talk to Streak, and you know drop the honeys in there, and
oh yeah, and I feel like I can tell when it's sort of a natural way that this person probably speaks to anybody and everybody, and I think that's a little bit of it too. For some people, maybe it's a little bit forced. It's not how they would normally talk, but it's how they think they're supposed to talk. I don't know. I don't understand it, because there's no part of me that would go, yes, I think I'm supposed to call a total stranger sweetie, honey, baby, sugar. Like, no, my brain just does not work that way. But yeah, when there's some people when it just feels natural, and you just but
you know. With her accent, I could just see her later, you know, with her friends, you know, doing the, well, bless their heart.
You know, can I tell you about bless their heart? Yes. This is where context is everything. Yes, there are contexts where bless their heart is the insult you have been told it is by TikTok and Instagram and Shorts. Because it is a veiled, she's a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, but sometimes a bless your heart is oh my God, you are going through it. Yeah. Bless your heart, baby. Like, it's just, and again, it's inflection and it's tone and it's context. But like, my southern side is like, but it's not always an insult.
Right. That's true.
Some of the times when I've been near tears because of the compassion and empathy somebody has shown me, been some southerner going heartfelt. Bless your heart. Like, there's so much meaning that can be infused in that little phrase, depending on tone of voice.
Tone and inflection, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They're... We have thankfully not gotten to the duct tape part of our cars. They're holding together.
They're holding up. Yeah.
But the way both of these vehicles have held up, I'm on Team Toyota. I'm just on Team Toyota. I've driven multiple other makers before and had with varying results.
Well,
and
I mean, one thing I have to say, and you know, when I had my rodeo,
Nissan. Rodeo? Hyundai?
No, Isuzu.
Isuzu. Okay.
Yeah.
Does Isuzu exist in America anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't
Now
think
either
so.
does Pontiac doesn't exist either.
I had 180,000 miles on that when it died.
And it just you drove it till it died.
Drove it till it died.
I mean, at this point, that's kind of our plan with our vehicles.
Yeah.
Just drive it till they
but
die.
I mean, you know, I don't, you know, they don't look pretty.
Yeah.
But you know, we've kept them maintenance. You know, when they need to go in for a oil change or service maintenance, you know, they go in.
Yeah.
And we keep up on that, and I think that's important. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, my thing about driving an older vehicle with high mileage is really about how well it's been maintained. The most stressful things I've ever driven were things I knew were fucking junk and I couldn't afford to get it into the shop. And then I would be stressed out every time, and I'd be like looking with longing at every vehicle that looked newer. Driving our vehicles, I'm like, they still run. They don't scare me when I'm driving, so okay.
Nope. Brakes are good. Everything, you know, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay. Georgia asks, my potential dom wants me to come up with 3 rules for him. Do you have any examples of what a rule for it's a sim would be? Do you mean sub? Do I have examples? The first thing I'm going to tell you is it's going to be super personal to you. So any examples I give you might not even fit. The other thing I would say is, do you have any goals that you want to accomplish? And do you have anything that you fantasized about and you're like, ooh, I think that would be
Excuse me.
hot, sexy, cool, helpful, make me feel my role, like whatever. So to come up with your own rules, those are the things I would suggest that you look at. Example rules. What would you? I mean, there's some simple ones like, depending on proximity, like if you're long distance or you only really get to talk through like text or DM, an easy rule is, you will send a good morning text or DM or email or whatever by a specific time each day.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of one.
Yeah, and I that was what I was just going to say. I don't know. It's been so.
I know. For simple ones, you agree to a bedtime. If again, these are easier and sometimes more meaningful, and maybe even you're more willing to follow if they align with a thing maybe you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't get enough sleep, right? Or you hit snooze too many times in the morning.
Yeah.
Can you be okay with a rule with maybe some kind of enforcement or consequences?
Mm-hmm.
Around that thing that you struggle with.
Yeah. I mean, I had you do a mantra in the mornings when we first met.
Yeah, because I still do, but it was really bad. My self-esteem was in the tank.
Yeah.
We had a thing where I sent you a picture of. Was it just a panty picture? Or was it a naked picture? I sent you a picture every day.
You send me a picture every day of what you were wearing for work.
I know, but didn't I send you a sexy picture most days too?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Because we had the rule, and we did manage to do this long distance. So whether you're long distance or not, it's possible. You picked out my panties every day.
Yes.
And that's when I worked in an office, and we did not need crotch sweat in the middle of that board meeting. So I wore panties every day.
Yeah, because I had you take pictures of all your panties.
And we uploaded it to a Dropbox folder.
And then every day I would go in there and pick a pair out for you.
And then if some got worn out, I had to go in and delete those. If I bought new ones, I had to go in. So that's a thing that you can do whether you're in person or long distance. The most effective rules I've ever had have either been something that helps you, because I'm a service sub, or something that helps me get to a goal. A thing I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to be better at this. I'm trying to finally do that. I'm like those kinds of things. So then other rules, examples could be, is there anything you can do to help this potential dom? I don't know what that might mean, because that, when we were still long distance, I would remind you then you needed to make an appointment, or I would offer to. Did I pretend to be his wife on the phone before you're married? Absolutely. It's like, what's your date of birth? Okay, I'll make that appointment for you. What could I do to help you, even when we were not living together?
Right.
But again, that speaks to the kind of submissive I am. I'm a service submissive. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So. So rules for your dom, I don't even know, what? Any rule for you is a rule for your dom. And what I mean by that is, if you have a rule, then your dom's rule is to check up on you, is to be paying attention to, did you do a thing?
To follow through.
Yeah. So a rule for your dom could be, that dom sends you the good morning text every day.
Yeah, be consistent.
Right. I mean, that's a life thing you want. With a rule, you want to be concrete. What does be consistent look like?
True.
They're going to call you at a specific time every day. They're going to send you an email at a specific time every day.
They're going to respond to texts or messages within a reasonable amount of time.
Right. Yeah, I think that's, thinking outside the box. My brain does the record scratch at a rule for a dom, because I'm not saying it can't be done. But that's not how my brain views in our dynamic what my dom does. My dom doesn't have rules. I have rules. My dom doesn't have rules. My dom makes promises, says he will do a thing, and then does it. And I don't consider that a rule. He sets an expectation of what he will do and then follows
I mean,
through.
the closest thing we have...
We have
I think-
agreements. You don't have rules. We have agreements, though.
I mean, the only thing I think that would kind of come close to that is our tough love clause.
Yes, and that is if you are not taking care of your health, mental or physical, I get to be a big bad bitch.
You can step in.
And I do. And I tell you when you're wrong.
Yeah. So, I think...
Yeah, Mr. Spock, that's a good follow-up question.
Yeah.
Is he looking for what he's allowed to do and not allowed to do? Because that's more of a what are your limits?
Right.
What's allowed and what's not allowed? Yeah, I know. I'm struggling to wrap my mind around the idea of a rule for a dom.
Yeah.
And that might be a semantics thing. Like, it could just be, here are the things that he agrees that he will do.
Yeah.
And that comes down to, I can't give you examples for this. What do you want from your dom? Do you want consistent communication that you can count on? Okay, then the
Right.
rules, the agreements need to reflect that. Do you want a certain amount of time, to the best of everybody's abilities, because life gets in the way, that this person is devoting to you, in a day, in a week, in a month, whatever, right? That could be a thing you negotiate. But yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, but I would, talk to your dom, this potential dom, and, ask for a little clarification on that.
And I agree, Mr. Spock. Like, there are rules that I think a dom has for themselves. And I think that if in your dynamic, somebody wants the sub to go, here are some things I expect you to do, dom, and you use the word rules, you can. I'm not trying to tell somebody they shouldn't do that. I am struggling with that on a personal level, because I think the rules that you have for yourself as a dominant are the standards you hold yourself to.
Yeah.
And there are some expectations I absolutely have of you, but just the language that we use and the things you've told yourself you will and won't do.
Right.
Respecting my hard limits is a quote rule, but it's a rule for everybody in a dynamic, right? Like, it's the common rule of, in this relationship, everybody's hard limits. It's not just a rule for a dom, it's a rule for a sub too. So, I don't know.
Excuse me.
But yeah, if it's about what can your dom do for you on some kind of consistent basis, the next thing is to think about, what do you want from a dom? What do you want from them? What do you want them to do in your relationship? So yeah, that's what I would say to that. So yeah, we're closing in on the midnight hour, which is when we turn into pumpkins and go the fuck to bed. But there is still time to get questions in for anybody who has a question.
Yeah, and I have a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, you're making the adventure trip to Gainesville to see the kid.
Yeah.
And I've been like, okay, look, if he needs to go to the grocery store before you leave, check and see if he needs to go to the grocery store. Also, yeah, feel free. Go to lunch. I took him to lunch. You should take him to lunch. Have a good time. And JB's like, okay, but what if I need to co-sign for a motorcycle loan? I'm like, I'm going to need you to use your best judgment on that one. Andre asks, JB, you have said before that you did not see yourself as a daddy at first. How did you get past the mental issues and struggles that are associated with the stereotypes and associations?
It was tough at first because you kept asking me, are you a daddy?
Seeing
dom?
all the signs.
Are you a daddy dom? Are you a caregiver? And I was like, no, not me. I'm not like that.
Except textbook fucking like that. It was the name you didn't like. It was the classification you didn't like.
And I just kept pushing back on it every time. And we've told the story a number of times. We were
fucking each other's brains out. I was half off the bed, head down, like all the blood rushing to my head.
Right.
Off the fucking bed.
And you called me daddy.
I screamed it. Now, there was a little calculation. I went, I'm going to try this because he might not like it. He might not like it. But this is the word that keeps coming to mind. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. And I just...
You just did it.
Did it.
And, at that point for me, it was like something just clicked. And...
Turbocharged. The fucking almost fell off the bed.
And it fit. And, everything just went,
It was intense.
Yeah.
It was so intense.
And ever since then... Daddy's been my name for you.
Mm-hmm. And I think at that point, that is what allowed you to go, okay, let me go learn what the fuck a daddy dom actually is.
Yeah.
What is caregiver? I mean, we weren't even using caregiver at the time.
No,
I don't think we even thought of it in those terms. It was like, what even is a daddy dom? And then once I don't think I ever asked like what resources you turned to or where you went to learn, but at some point you had done your research.
Right.
And you went, yeah, that's me. And you just sort of embraced it.
I did some digging around on Fed at the time and, some blogs.
Yeah. Which can be a little scary because there's some stereotypes and there are some portrayals of caregiver little that if that is not your thing could be off-putting. I mean, depending on what you find online.
Right. I know for some people... No matter what, the term daddy just
isn't going to work.
Isn't going to work.
I think you can be a caregiver dominant without ever being daddy, mommy, whatever. Like you don't have to use any of those titles and honorifics to be a caregiver. It's another one of those mindset kind of things.
Yeah. Just being called caregiver.
Yeah. Because see, the thing is, before you took the title, I was calling you sir, but you were behaving as a caregiver.
Yeah.
It was that for us in the moment, me calling you daddy felt right enough to you. Like it was one of those times where instead of talking about it in an analytical kind of way of what do you think about this thing, where you could go, no, fucking thank you.
Yeah.
And, I would not recommend that just anybody who's just met up with anybody and you've known each other for 5 minutes, you start throwing out titles when somebody's like, I don't like that, right? Like, that's not, like, I took a calculated risk based on the time we had been together and the understanding we had of each other. And I also, in that instance, I called you daddy knowing that I could have just been, like, dousing you with cold water. Like, it could have ended the crazy fuck session. But
yeah, I mean
you kind of had to get out of your own head about it to then go explore.
I had to get out of my head, and I think what really came down to it, once I started looking into it and seeing what the term daddy in the lifestyle meant, then I kind of started looking back.
And then you can see it so clearly.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of did this for that and for this person. And then with this other, I was this way and did okay.
Okay. And see, so Andre says, in my case, I fought it for years, but in a moment of passion, I referred to myself as daddy. I'm still having a big struggle with it. And I'm not sure how to accept that part of who I am. So what is the struggle? Is the struggle with the term daddy, or is the struggle with what you feel daddy means? And I'm going to slide in and go, does that mean caregiver? Or do you not, is it the way that in your mind, what the term daddy means? Because what exactly is the struggle? If who you are as a dominant feels like for you the daddy vibe fits, is it a problem with the word? Or did you like the word but you're not sure about the dynamic that tends to go with the word? Because you can absolutely separate out the title and honorific from character. There are plenty of people who get called daddy all the fucking time. They're not caregiving nothing, okay? They're not. I mean, kinky or otherwise.
Yeah.
There's so many people out here getting called daddy and nope. Nothing's caregiver about them. So, yeah, that would be That would be my question: is what is the specific struggle? Just the title? And then I would go back to said it in a moment of passion. Okay, to me, that's actually a good indicator of what, at your basis level, like your subconscious level, like what appeals to you. But is just daddy the wrong word? Is that the one you went for because that's the one you know based on the vibe, and so maybe you need a different word for it? I mean, there's so many variables. But like, especially if your way of being a dominant, you're like, yeah, I'm the caregiver thing sounds right. Or you're more of a, okay, some of these parts of caregiver sound right, and some other parts fit me as well. Well, we're all conglomerations. I mean, JB is absolutely a fucking caregiver, but he's also a fucking sadist. And that is definitely part of his dominance, okay? Yeah. The sadist dominant thing is not separate. No. So we're all kind of amalgamations of who we are. So, yeah. And, you know, Silence says that's my problem. Daddy is who X was when our kids were tiny. I'm actually really not grateful my father died, okay? That sounds awful. But I am grateful that he is not a presence in my life to be referred to as daddy when I have a life partner I call daddy. That would not work. Or it would have just... it either wouldn't have worked, or I would have had to spend a lot of time overcoming that, because it's that whole joke of sitting in a room with your boyfriend, you say daddy, and two men think they're being talked to. Like, yeah. Now, Andre, that's a legit fear. That the things people think that caregiver little are, yeah, that fucking sucks.
Right.
So where would the whole daddy thing be used? If it's a personal thing between you and your partner, and maybe it's not said outside of the two of you, then who would know that?
Right.
If it's the whole caregiver little thing, just in general, and not necessarily just the being called daddy, you know, and this, everybody comes to this in their own way, but there's a bit of a fuck what other people think. That takes time to get to, and I'm still working on that. There's a very real reason I don't use the word daddy in public. Like, I mean, because sometimes we have been mistaken for father and daughter, and I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't.
I mean, that was something that crossed my mind at that time too. Okay, and you know, again, it's one of those things where people in the lifestyle are going to understand what it is and what it isn't.
Some people are.
I mean, the majority.
Yes.
The majority.
There are definitely the closed-minded one true wayers who refuse to understand that what caregiver little is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and Kayla is absolutely right. You know, out in the wild, when we're out and about, she does not call me daddy. I'm JB.
Or Mr. John.
Or
if the
Mr.
kids
John.
Are with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that I do JB now for John Brownstone. Because before I just called him John Brownstone all the fucking time. Anything not to just call him John, because it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't, because we don't want to get into weird conversations with strangers or people we know. Like,
right.
That's our private business. Now, in the kink lifestyle, in kink community, I actually will still often just call you JB.
Yeah.
You know, part of that is everybody knows you're my daddy. I say it here, but I call you JB more, even here in this semi-public forum, than I do daddy, because daddy feels inherently personal to me.
I mean, I don't call you baby girl.
Not often enough. No, the fuck you don't. More often would be good. baby girl.
Night Mally. But I don't do it outside of the house.
Right. Right.
Okay.
You will sometimes call me BG.
BG.
Yeah. We love to abbreviate shit around here. Right. It's how we speak in code.
So, it's I mean, yeah, that's one of the things that you have to come to terms with.
And I think that's a time thing.
Yeah.
And it's a comfort and normalization. The more you are, if the term daddy is the thing for you, the more you are called daddy / refer to yourself as a daddy, the more normal it becomes, especially when you do it in spaces where nobody blinks, nobody bats an eye, nobody accuses you of the P word that we definitely will not say here. Like, and in kink spaces, more often than not, nobody fucking is. They're not. I mean, because most of us know. Like, every once in a while you get that outlier, they don't have a clue. Sucks for them. If it's the connotation of what caregiver means, I think the same is still true. One, it's a time thing. The more you do it, the more normal it becomes. It feels less strange. Two, it's also about defining what these things mean for you and not what you have been told those terms mean and what that means, how you're supposed to behave as a dominant. And so that you start defining those things for yourself and you're like, okay, I don't know what it means for anybody else, but for me, this is what that's going to mean as who I am as a dominant and how I move through the world and my relationship and blah, blah, blah. And all that.
I mean, it's kind of funny, because they're talking about names and, stuff. When I have to say your given name, I don't like it. It has a hard time rolling out of my mouth.
There have been a couple times you've said my legal name and you were upset with me. You were not like pissed. No, there's been a couple times you were pissed. It was right up there with my Southern mama calling me by my whole government name, right? And she definitely still will if she feels so inclined. Yeah. I am 43 and this close to 44. Okay, I was not going to do the fractional math, y'all. Nobody wants me to do that. So because there's been a couple times you've used my legal first name in anger, anytime you have to use my legal first name, I'm like, what? Are you upset with me? What's wrong? Are we fighting now? I actually prefer BG over anything. If he has to now in front of my mom, my aunt, they'd be like, what the fuck is BG? And we're not having that conversation.
No, we're not going down that road.
So he has to use my name, but I kind of go every time. And this is how silly it is. I am BG because I am not my legal name unless I have to interact with you in a non-kink way.
Right.
JB is JB. In our family calendar where we put in appointments for everybody and things we're keeping up with for everybody, if it's my appointment, it says BG and then the thing. If it's JB's appointment, it says JB and then the thing. And if it's a mutual appointment, it's JB and BG and the thing. Right. I'm not even to type. I'm not using our names.
Yeah.
No. I'm just fine being referred to as Kayla. Because if you know that I am Kayla, then you know my kink life to some extent.
Right.
But it is still an odd thing because it's a name. And I'm like, but my name is Baby Girl. But only really for one person. If anybody else fucking called me that.
Right.
What? No.
Yeah.
Major side eye. Yes, and I'm pending. 44 is pending, yes. Yeah. 10 days. 9 days at this point? I don't know. I'm pending. Yeah. Oh, yeah, my mom, when she's slightly annoyed with me, but not pissed, will use my first and middle name.
Well, that's, yeah.
At this point, she is one of 3 people who consistently can, recall my middle name without struggle. You are not one of those people. I mean, we've told each other our middle names, and I know yours.
Yeah, I
very
know
well.
yours too.
Did it take you a second when I mentioned it? It did. I saw your face. So when she gets semi-frustrated, but not angry, but the eye roll thing, it's my first and middle name together. So. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
looking in the chat. X said, if you know, in real life, I'm sorry, X, you will always be X, even
Yeah.
if we ever like. You can tell me. I probably have heard it or seen it. You can tell me your government name. I'm still gonna call you X. And silent, I'm probably gonna call you silent. When I get to know somebody online by whatever their handle is, that's who the fuck they are
That's
to me
who
at
they
that
be,
point.
yeah.
Like, yeah. See, yeah, and I don't know if you feel this way, Silent, but Kayla Lords is my truest self. Like, my legal name, yeah, I am that person, obviously, but like that's just a part of me that only some people get to see that one little sliver of. Like, that's my I gotta go to the doctor name. That's my mom's name for me. But if you call me by my screen name, if you call me Kayla, like, you know, a part of me that
Not everybody knows.
some of the people who should be closest to me in life have no fucking clue about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're sorry. No, did I just apologize to the racetrack cup? I did. No, X, you'll just be X. It'll just be X. It'll just be X.
No.
It's midnight.
It's
we
midnight.
made it.
We did.
Y'all energize us because I promise you, right before I just bit the inside of my mouth. Ow. Right before, I'm sober, y'all, I promise. Right before we started streaming, we were both ready to fall asleep.
Yep.
I was ready to fall asleep before dinner, and then we ate, and then that was apparently what I fucking needed. My lunch was long gone, I guess. And then you were about to fall asleep sitting on the couch, getting ready for the stream. So, yeah, y'all have definitely energized us. But yeah. It's now 12:01. I need to wait till 12:02. I need it to be... perfect life is 12:05, but I won't do that to either of us. We just gotta wait till 12:02, okay? Yes, Andre, it is very much started.
It is very much started.
So... I'm just gonna watch the clock, y'all. Sorry, there's no more talking or stream. I'm just watching the clock for 12:02. Yeah, I get to be left alone tomorrow while you go on your adventure, but I have to work to get ready for the sale that starts on Sunday, so.
Yeah, you'll be doing work that, yeah.
Okay, it's 12:02.
Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for joining us.
Especially if you're here till the end for
the
us.
bitter end, yep.
Yeah, it's the bitter end for us. For some other people in different time zones, like, their night's just getting started.
Right, that's true.
Go have a good time. I got
Yep.
3% left of a book I'm going to finish. Okay. We'll see y'all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.